John lays before the reader, John the Revelator, the terrifying prospect of an economic system completely dominated by what has been called the Mahanic principle. Satan, and what's the Mahanic principle? Comes from Master Mahan, right? We know who that was. That was CAIN. Okay, I wanted to get on here for just a second and, maybe a few minutes and let you know what I've been feeling about Tim Ballard. Like I said, I'm going to hit on this a few times. And particularly what's been running through my mind about Professor Richard Draper, who is emeritus. He's emeritus status. I don't know how well he's doing. I've emailed him a few times to see if he can come on the program. Haven't had any responses, but I don't know what he's doing these days. But if you hear me, or if anybody knows who he is, I want him to come on the program and talk to him. Okay, so his main focus is the Book of Revelation. And since I started this program back in 2019, I have I've done some reactionary pieces, some commentary on his books, his I guess you would call them dissertations, academic reviews, some of the things that he has excerpted work on some of his books. Anyway, one thing that came to my mind, and I think that out of all the people that I have studied, that scholars and others that have that delve into the Book of Revelation and study it intensively and extensively, he's the only one that has mentioned this particular thing. And I want to bring this to your attention, if I may. So I've done about 3 different videos on understanding images and symbols in the Book of Revelation. This was Richard Draper. I guess you would call this an academic review on shedding light on the New Testament, Acts and Revelation. So the Book of Acts, a pattern for modern church growth, Jared W. Ludlow. And there are many involved in this book, I guess. And the editors are Ray L. Huntington, Frank F. Judd Jr., and David M. Whitchurch. However, Professor Draper mentions something that I've never seen anyone else talk about before. And under this part, the great enemies of the last days, he states right here, John lays before the reader, John the Revelator, the terrifying prospect of an economic system completely dominated by what has been called the Mahanic principle. Satan, and what's the Mahanic principle? Comes from Master Mahan, right? We know who that was. That was CAIN, the first murderer, the first one to participate in secret combinations. He goes on to say, Satan, who stands as initiator of this system, first revealed its great secret to CAIN, who in turn revealed it to his followers. See Moses 5:29-31. And he, Satan, did plot with Cain and his followers from that time forth. Helaman 6:27. And what was the objective of all that plotting? To learn the trade of turning human life into property. That's incredible. And if you click on 35, Hugh Nibley it references Hugh Nibley. So did Hugh Nibley talk about this? It says that Hugh Nibley used this term in a lecture I attended in 1971. Interesting. So that's Richard Draper saying that right there. Yeah, and he Satan did plot with Cain and his followers from the time forth, Helaman 627. And what was the objective of that plotting? To learn the trade of turning human life into property. What's going on today in the last days? And it's not just the trafficking, but it's getting us to be mindless followers as well, and to be to comply, to be conformers, to be to have useful idiots, to kill the useless eaters. It's everything that neo-Marxism teaches. But I thought a lot about Operation Underground Railroad and what they are trying to do, and others, not just Tim Ballard and his program, but many others. Evil and conspiring men formed the secret combination, which then swept across oceans and survived through time. And Satan doth hand down their plots and their oaths. So what is this saying right here? Does it say it went away and then came back later? It says it's been handed down. It's been handed down from day one. I don't think it necessarily left the earth. Now, does the left hand know what the right hand is doing all the time, or does the wicked generation after that other generation that had this Mahanic principle, do they know where it came from? Not necessarily. It's not like it's been formally handed down like some kind of Olympic baton, like the handing of the torch. But it has been handed down, whether they know it or not. And their covenants and their plans of awful wickedness from generation to generation, according as he can get hold upon their hearts of the children of men. Somebody put a comment in the section that Abraham Lincoln checked the Book of Mormon out. I don't know if that's true or not. Did Abraham Lincoln read the Book of Mormon? On November 18th, 1861, the Executive Mansion borrowed the Book of Mormon and several other texts on the religion. The Book of Mormon was kept for 8 months before it was returned, but there is no definitive proof Lincoln himself read or studied it. But isn't that interesting, though? Isn't that interesting? Very interesting. Very clever. Who knows? Wasn't the Civil War almost kind of like a Book of Mormon battle? Yeah. So, let me go on a little bit. That's the main thing I wanted you to see. I have a couple of videos where you can find them. I'll put the link. But, yeah, this is no joke, man. It's all organized. And the main organizers, the main movers and shakers are not mortals, but principalities and powers that are unseen. Satan and his legion, they know exactly what they're doing and how to seduce other evil people. And they keep it going. The seer shows that this power will stoke the destructive forces of the latter days. Slowly, genuine humility and brotherhood will be suppressed under a vast and complex coercion of sophisticated and bewitching propaganda and the brutality of pragmatism and unrestrained egotism. So, unrestrained egotism, we see that today. We see brutality. And we see humility and brotherhood suppressed. Right? The beast can gain control only because of the fallen and spiritually degenerate state brought about by evil and indifference and ambivalence toward good in mankind. It's crazy stuff, man. So he's the only one that pointed out this right here, and I think he got it from. Let's look that up for a second. Hugh Nibley on A Strange Thing in the Land is something he wrote that talks a lot about how do you spell Mahanic principle? Yeah, I spelled it right. A Strange Thing in the Land also talks a lot in depth about CAIN and where secret combinations came from. Okay, that doesn't. The Mahan principle, Moses 5:30 through 31, and Satan's. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so that's about it. There's some stuff. I'll look. I'd like to get more involved in researching more about what Hugh Nibley said about it. Let's see. The phrase Mahan principle was coined by Hugh Nibley to denote the discovery made by CAIN in Moses 5:31. Let's read Moses 5:31. Oh, do 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 do. Do 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 do. La da 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 dee 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 dee. La da da dee 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 dee. Here we go. Moses 5:31. And Cain said, "Truly I am Mahan." Yeah, we know that verse. Okay. This great secret that I may murder and get gain, wherefore Cain was called mastermind. Okay. So anyway, I want to get further into what he talked about sometime. But I just wanted to bring this to your attention. And yeah, that's about it with that. And go check out the last video I just put out about that evil chemical.